No matter how you did on your early NFL bets, join us every Sunday at 3 p.m. on Before You Bet with DommyGunRici and DJ Bigboss, who bangin' sports talk.
How you doing, DJ Bigboss? How are ya?
What up, thou? How you feeling today, DommyGunRici?
I'm doing good, man. That was good, right down to the last second, and all of a sudden everything worked. I just unplugged everything and plugged it back in. You know how this goes with this live. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to Before You Bet, Week 3 NFL. It's been a decent week so far. We've been doing pretty good at the Who Bangin' Sports Talk. How was your day yesterday, DJ?
Oh man, I did not have the greatest day yesterday. I went 1-4 on my plays. I was 1-1 on the best bets. USC unfortunately did not cover, although they did win. ODU did not cover, although they did win. Just a couple spots in there. I gave out the Mississippi minus 21 early in the week, but actually didn't end up making it to the window. And that's why on the best bet, I gave the under, and that was the only cash out of that group. And then, of course, my Notre Dame decided they want to win when they're supposed to lay down. But I guess I paid for that win in that one, and I'll also be back in my Niners today too. So we'll see what kind of week I get as a fan with the Notre Dame and 49ers playing this week.
I got you. I'm with you on that 49ers play. Man, there's some storms coming up through the country. The Philadelphia-Philly game in baseball got delayed. The Houston Astro game in Baltimore got delayed. And I've been hearing reports in New York that we're getting some kind of storm, so I guess it is coming up the ranks. I do have it's an official game, though. I got the under 8.5 in the Houston Astros game, and it's 1-0 delayed in the 7th. So hopefully they'll just call that sucker. Let's see. I won the first 5 in the Pittsburgh Pirates game, and did a lighted up show yesterday, and I had a nice 6-0 sweep in MLB. So it's been pretty good so far for the week. I didn't play any college games. My only college game is the one you gave me on Friday night, which was Air Force first quarter, and that was my only college bet. But we ain't about to talk about that. We're here to talk about week 3. And we do have a couple nice guests, some old school. When we talk about low baggers, we got some old original cornerstones of the low baggers coming in today. So I tried to get a whole bunch of them, but a couple got delayed. We were trying to get you a live look from the game for the Eagles game, but that isn't working out. So but we have some good guests coming on for you. But today, DJ, we got some good games, and only one of them starts at 4:05. The rest are at so in a half hour, one game starts, and then the rest start about almost about 55 minutes after that, from now. The first game that is Jacksonville at the Chargers. I'm not sure if is Herbert out. Do you know if Herbert's out or not? I know he had that injured rib.
I don't know. I'm gonna check up on that one. Let's take a look.
We'll have to take a look at that. And interesting game here with Jacksonville. Jacksonville did open up +7 and took some money this week. And let me get the lines up for what the current line is now. But I'll tell you, I read a couple things in it, and it kind of made sense about this game. Last week, Jacksonville sacked the Colts' Matt Ryan 5 times and intercepted him 3 times. So what a turnover machine that was. And like this article was talking about, the Jacksonville might not be the doormat of the league. And so far, the way they're playing, I mean, they're playing decent, But against the Chargers, notoriously, they haven't played well. But they might not be the same old Jacksonville Jaguar team. So should be an interesting game. Do you know? Know about Herbert? Tell us.
I see Herbert is probable still with the ribs. I'm looking at on coverage right here. So I don't know how live and up to date that is, but probable. So I guess you got to watch those pregame shows because that's where they really be giving all the information on who's starting or not. So
What kind of line movement was on this game? That's another
looks
way
like
too,
look
right?
like the Chargers are all banged up though.
Yeah,
I
they
see
sure
about
are.
4 or 5 of them out for this Sunday, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are pretty fresh, although their loss of Griffin at cornerback, but the Chargers are missing somebody in tight end, center, cornerback,
Wow.
QB, wide receiver. Looks like the offense is the most banged up right there. So, believe it or not, my luck, I'm on the Chargers on a quick parlay. So I have 2 parlays in for today. That's the only 2 that I have because the NFL been robbing all of my college money, and I'm trying to get some back. I'm trying to get something back today because I lost yesterday in college. So, well, I did hit a parlay in college that saved my behind. I had ODU on the money line parlay to USC. That cashed out of all my losers. So that was a good one that I was thinking about be a good topic of discussion because, a lot of people say how bad parlays is and stuff like that. But in yesterday's instance, just so happened the parlay actually saved me because I was able to run it on the money line other than the spread and still be able to have positive money. So that's a good discussion to talk.
Listen, I agree with it, and I play more parlays than I used to. I just think it's when you're keeping them down to 2 games is really the key. When you start fooling around with 3 games and 4 games looking for that big score, that's where the odds are just so bad against you. Even on the 2, I mean, the odds ain't great always, the actual real odds compared to the odds you might not get in the game. But hey, listen, I'm not laying minus 140, 150. 140 is the top, especially in the MLB. And so if I really like a team like towards the end of the year, and I've been doing that, I'll take the team in a parlay. Like what I like to do is take like a team like, let's say, like the Mets today with Scherzer. They're a big favorite. But if I hook them up in the K prop, you can get that in the parlay. The team to win and the K prop for the pitcher, or one of the players. There's many ways you could do it. You could really knock that juice down from a minus to a plus. But even 2 games, like, listen, I'm with you on that. I know people have different theories on the parlay. As I look to my right and see in the chat, parlay Teece, who could have a thing or 2 to say about that. And that. But
absolutely. Well, in NFL, I happen to have a lot of three team parlays, and I do this with the Sunday night thing, and it's all absolutely for a hedge as well. I like to take a big risk and put it on the hedge. So today I have the Bengals on my money line parlay. I have the to the Ravens parlay to the 49ers tonight, and if I could get the Bengals and the Ravens to come in for me, then I'll be okay. And then my other, I have a teaser, which I have the Bengals again. I have the Chargers, and then I have the 49ers all teased down or up by 6.
Okay.
So that's where I'm looking okay right now. So I hope for not this gruesome fourth quarter that's been happening a lot of times in the NFL. Right now, the Bengals are up 27-12. And let me see.
I've been watching that whole game.
The Ravens. The Ravens are 31-26.
Yes.
And New England is on 3rd and goal at Baltimore 10. So
plenty of time left in that game. 10 minutes left in that game. You know how these Raven games are. I was going to mention that in our chat before that the second halves with these Raven games, of those totals are all they've been shooting over. And I was thinking also if the Ravens went up big in the first half that I would go against them. But I didn't take any second half bets today. I'm on the Bengals. I hit the first half -3. I got -5 on the Bengals, and I took that Tuesday when I was I clicked on our boy Jay Money's NFL show to say hello, and he was talking about taking he tripled up. He took the Bengals first quarter, first half, and full game, and I was already on the first half, but I added the full game after talking with him, and one of the wager talk guys were on with him. I forgot Steve Merrill. Guy's he's a pretty good capper, but anyhow. they were talking about that game. And listen, this game last year, DJ, was one of my worst losses, was this Bengal Jet game last year. And I remember, too, I was on the show with Jimmy, and that day was just killed me. I was still thinking Sam Darnold was going to do good for the Panthers, and he just got wrecked that day. And I had the Bengals over the Jets. It was just like a gruesome performance. And I always remembered that this Cincinnati was going to get back at the Jets, I thought today. So hopefully that holds up. The early game I was on is the Dolphins team total over 24. And now it's 21-17. They're winning. 9 minutes left. Something happened with Tua today. I'm not sure. Teece, what happened with Tua today? He got hurt and he got taken out and then brought back in. I heard you talking about it before, but I was doing something else and I couldn't check into that. Let me know what the hell that was all about. But anyhow, today, like I said, we got some good games. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I was just want to note some of the games, some of the stuff going on. Like, what's most shocking to you today? All the games that are going. See that Miami's up 21-17 against Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were picking Miami.
24-14 versus Minnesota.
Right. You were cutting in and out. But I got what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I think I just mentioned the Panthers. I think they were the biggest surprise for me, that they just took care of the Saints all day. I mean, the Saints scored 7 points all day long. So Panthers being up 22-7, I think that's a little bit of a and the Raiders again is showing. I mean, not that I was big on the Raiders, but Tennessee all game long, just manhandling them all game long. Another game I'm a little surprised at is that not so much that the Lions are winning because they've been playing good ball, but that Minnesota only has 14 points and hasn't scored any in the fourth quarter, and there's 8 minutes left, and they're home, Minnesota. That's a little surprising.
Yeah, I have Minnesota in my my office pool, the little weekly money line office pool. Yeah. I'm number 5 right now in the 5 spot. And you got a little something going on over there. One, my office pool is really built up though. $10 a week. There's 63 players in there. The prize is $630 a week.
Oh, good
for a money line pool. So I'm paid up to week 8. So I'm trying to bust that. So if anybody have any insight from week to week on a good sleeper, because I always like to put one team because a lot of those people in those office pools are public bettors. So I try to go, 1 sharp, 2 sharp moves.
Sure.
And sometimes that's all you need. Just you need to be on the same thing when everybody's on the same thing, but sometimes you need to be on one different one when everybody's on the same thing. So like everybody today had the Chiefs. So if you was on the other side of that and you could pull that off, that'd be a good look. But I was thinking maybe starting next week or the following week, I think Bangin gonna put out one of those little office pools, for anybody who want to get involved. Maybe we have a free one and a pay one for the real cappers, and everybody can get involved and do they pick'ems each week. NFL, just having fun.
Yeah. I was thinking about how to actually. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about how to do one with just total. No one ever does totals. So I was trying to think of a way to do totals because it could work the same way. But anyhow, that's a good idea. Something to do like that. The one game that I'm going to be a loser at today is, once a year I trust Carson Wentz, and that's it. The guy's a bum. The guy's always been a bum. He always will be a bum. That anyone thought that the Commanders were going to be some kind of good team this year, I don't know. And a lot of good cappers were on him. And listen, for all I know, they could rattle off the next 10 games in a row, but I'll never trust Carson Wentz again. You'll never see me bet with that team again. All I had was the team total over 20. That's it. I didn't have any other expectations. They scored 2 points. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, there's my rant. Today's rant on Carson Wentz.
Hey, that's right. Hey, I got one for the chat too, man, because it looks like I'm going to pass along my parlays over into the Niners. So for this, I got 1 unit left for these out of these
Teece,
4 games.
That was 5 years ago, buddy. Please. Come on.
I got a
Bum.
I got one unit left, and I want to go a parlay. I want to put extra since I already have money going into the Niners. I'm gonna load it up for the Niners. So if I have to hedge the other way, I do a nice hedge and I'll be fine. So I'm looking for the best. I mean, I got on the Bengals too with all the sharp cappers this week, and that put me over into this parlay situation. So I'm looking for another Bengals type bet for these late games right here. So
I got one for you. I don't know if you're gonna like it, but I could tell you the team that I love in this game. I like the Niners, and I told you that this morning that I like the Niners, and I am on them. And they're the back end of my parlay that we also just talked about from the 4:00 game, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. I got them team total over 20.5 minus 115, and the Falcons went from, which I love, went from a dog to a favorite. I took them on the money line minus 103, and I parlayed them with the Niners at plus 225. So that's what I took. So I love the Falcons today. Listen, since that first half of the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl, because Russell Wilson was coming back, since that first half, they haven't played a lick of good football. And I expect the same today with Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. Atlanta, let me tell you something. Atlanta's 0-2, but they are 2-0 against the spread. Atlanta, listen to this, DJ. And I didn't realize, I watched all the highlights the next day, but didn't realize last week that this went on. Atlanta trailed the Rams 28-3 late in the third quarter, blocked punt, return touchdown, and a 2-point conversion. Falcons cut the deficit from 31 to 25, then forced a turnover, had a chance to go ahead. Mariota throws a interception. Ramsey intercepts him with a minute left in the game. So the Falcons almost pulled that upset last week, covered the spread like they did the first week. That's the other thing I had circled. Falcons maybe 0-2 as in the standings, but are 2-0 against the spread. Listen, I like them today. We'll see what happens. I mean, I guess Seattle has surprised us before, but I'll take a shot with Mariota over Geno Smith. So that and there's no look ahead. Atlanta plays Cleveland next at home. Then they go to Tampa Bay. Then they got the Niners at home. Then they go to Cincy. So there's no kind of look ahead or anything like that. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that game. If my 2 cents is
that game though, I'm holding my purse in that one. I'm not sure if I want to get involved because Pete always scared me. You never know.
I lost you a little bit. I keep losing you.
10-3 game, or if he's got 29. Oh yeah, I feel a low signal going on over here. But yeah. Pete always scares me a little bit, and also I don't know about the Falcons. I'm not sure if I'm ready to buy in on the Falcons because I just had bad luck with the Falcons when they had Matt Ryan. But he's for longer.
With me, they were tough to take. I mean, this Green Bay Tampa game, I have no idea. To me, it's a coin flip. I had no play on it. I had no play on the Chargers game because I didn't know about Hurt. And this is the game that, sometimes games jump up at you. So for some reason, this was the game that jumped up at me. The other game that we do got today is the Rams and the Cardinals at Arizona. We know the Rams beat them up in the playoffs last year. But the Rams strapped to the turnover machine. So we'll see what happens. And then tonight's game, of course.
Kyler Murray, let's talk about Kyler Murray a little bit. So they've been talking about Kyler Murray, like not being able to read defenses and all this kind of stuff. And last the Raiders, he did a horrible job, but walked off the hero because he was on the 5-yard line. And with like 30 seconds, and 30 seconds got 8 plays. He went to 4th down. Got a pass interference on 4th down, got another set of downs, went all the way through those. And then it was unbelievable, but it was in Raiders fashion that of course, this guy, if he can't throw the ball, he's going to do it on his feet. And what does he do? Walk in the end zone to tie the game up. Then out of all the throws he missed, which were 7 in a row, right? He hits the guy in the back. The 2-point conversion. Walks the hero as they walk off the win. But is he a guy? And I'm not 100% sure of what his record is against the Rams, because I mean, Rams have a really, really good pass and should give him, a headache. But actually, he does better running like a chicken with his head off. That's where he seems to have the greatest
improvise.
Yeah. So I don't know how that works, and I don't know if I could trust this Ram team, especially after those losses. I don't know how far we can. I can't really trust the Rams no further than I can throw them, as they would say, right? But they're laying a 4. Arizona's a big home dog in this situation, and this year home dogs been winning. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I could look up that.
I feel like you. Like how you feel about taking Atlanta is how I feel about taking Arizona. Like, not something I per se want to do, but I think if we don't have a lot of games, and this goes back to Doc Edge, right? We don't have a lot of games that go haywire in the fourth quarter in these early games, then we'll probably get one to go haywire in the second ones. And the one with the most potential is the Cardinals and the Rams.
Yeah. So are you really talking about everything you're saying? Kind of leads into like maybe an over in this game, but the total is up there. It's 48.
Yes.
But like really everything you're saying is kind of leading into that direction. And I mentioned Stafford's a turnover machine, so we'll see what happens. Anyone backstage yet?
Yeah, we got Paco back here. You ready to bring Paco on?
Let's bring on one of the old-time OG cornerstones of the Low Bag Nation. 5 years strong. He's been with us, and that's coming up in end of October. We've been together all 5 years. It's been good. And so, let's bring on Paco Healy from California. What's up, buddy?
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, y'all. How are you, man? Good to see you.
San Diego's finest right there. How you feeling, Paco?
Hey, come on now. I appreciate the warm intro, and it's definitely I'm stoked to be on a stream with you guys, man. I've been, kind of chatting with you guys forever. We've had opportunity to raise a muck in Vegas and have some fun and toast some drinks, and we do what we do all week long, so it's good to get on page and kind of share my thoughts on this week's slate, and always tuning into what you guys are going over. So
yeah, man, it's good to see you. It's been a while, man. Good to see you. It's been a while, without a doubt. How's the football season been treating you so far?
I've been doing okay. I had a bunch of bets out there yesterday. I ended a 10-7 day.
Oh, good.
I pulled that off 2 weeks in a row. Exact same 10-7. So NCAA has been a lot of fun. I've been catching the Boss and the Saw Show on replay. Whenever I can't catch you guys live streams, I'm always getting one of those replays and likes in on both of your guys' content, that's for sure. But things have been going good. Week 1 NFL, a little bit of a losing week, but we got on track last week, and all my morning stuff's doing well right now. So also wanted to give a shout out to my boy Damon Santori. As you know, he's here in San Diego locally with me, and we both we shared the buy-ins and action on the pub sports contest on on the Survivor and the NFL Pick'em. So we went 1-4 week 1 and had a tough week, and then bounced back last week with the perfect 5-0 sweep. So put us at the upper third there of the field, and kind of in a place to keep chipping away and lurking. And we're still alive in the Survivor. Way. So if you follow that show at all, look out for us. We got a clever name of Slam D Closteball.
Okay.
Pay a little homage to our hometown and the drug that helped bring down our spark.
Oh, that's cool, man.
We're having some good fun collaborating on that.
Yeah. I seen that name and I didn't know who it was. I'm not in the contest. That's not really my thing, the contest, but I wasn't in it. But I had fun watching the show. It's fun just to see who I was watching it the other day to see who everybody's on and see how. I know the first week I know the first week the survival got hit pretty big, like every survivor pool did, even the big ones in Vegas. So that's interesting. That's good though, man. Good luck to you. It's a lot of fun that you guys doing it. So that's good. Good job. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah. So late games.
Absolutely.
What kind of late games you on here, man?
So the late games, just kind of going down the slate with this Charger game. That's one of our contest picks because we locked it in at 7. Obviously, moving down to 3.5. That's just a matter of getting those points contest wise. But as far as getting in on the action, if you're late to betting it right now, I just don't see any way that you can be on the Jags. You know what I mean? Sitting at 3.5 here, losing all that line value. So if you didn't get with the 7 or above, this line opened as a 9.5 look ahead. Quickly, early money coming in on the Jags, got driven down to 7, held at 7 for a while, and now we see it at that low mark. So for me, if anything, sidewise, I'm going to buy back on the Chargers. It's just too much line movement. If it was not a hook on the 3.5, it'd be a no-brainer. Same thing with the total. It started up, hovering around 50, and you're seeing it in significant drop there. I like the under, obviously with the offensive struggle that I think is going to be there for the Chargers. They got to drum up some new stuff, and big part of their offense is Herbert kind of being flashy, making plays, kind of getting there, not as much system driven, I want to call it, but he's definitely a playmaker. You know what I mean? Yeah. And with Keenan Allen's status, I could see a little bit less points there towards the Chargers, and I think that the Jags are going to have a hard time scoring here.
What's Herbert's status, though? That's the problem. That's why the line dropped, because of Herbert. That's the only reason why it dropped. So
yeah, there's some reports that he had some significant pain throughout the week, and I don't even think he practiced at all.
Right. I don't know if he's playing. I still don't know if he's playing tonight. We keep on looking, and I keep on seeing probable. We haven't seen a confirmation yet. So
right.
I guess that would be great if he plays now. You got, if someone's going to take the charges, good time to take them.
Yeah, I think it's a tough spot. Obviously, it's a tough spot for the Jags too, coming East Coast to West Coast. They were in Jacksonville last week. They're used to the heat. If we have any kind of heat wave here, it's hot there, so that ain't really a thing. But the Jags are they're 15 out of 18. So I got that from Jimmy coming to the West Coast in a Pacific time zone. So 15 losses out of 18. And not the biggest trend guy, but it's something to factor in there. And for sure,
I don't know.
I think that this Chargers defense is the most elite defense that they have faced yet to the season. Right. So I wouldn't hate a Jags team total under, and probably will live bet this. See if there's an early score or two. I'll be hopping on the under.
Right, I got you.
So you lean under on that one.
I do.
How about that Niner game? Where you stand on that Niner game?
So I think the Niner game, it almost looks like a trap. I know there's that storyline of
the trap.
This team's better with Jimmy G, and they're going to rally and whatnot.
I think the trap might be the other way.
Yeah, it might be. So
tough one. Tough. I don't know, man. I didn't like this game all week long, and today I just kept on liking the Niners more and more. But I'm not a Russell Wilson fan to begin with. I think that's another story. But go ahead.
It's tough. It's tough too. And whether you think Russell's on a downswing or not, it's still that first-year head coach. The coach does not look sharp. You know what I mean? And Russell Wilson, I think he's at 5 yards rushing. Something astonishing, which is not his normal formula for success there. And Judy might be out. I know the Broncos have problems there, but I feel like that they've been so underwhelming the past couple of weeks that when do they get it right? Is it here at this home spot in a primetime spot? It could be. Just like a lot of people talk about regression to the mean in baseball, and when you see somebody underperforming or whatnot, when are those points going to come in? I'm looking to bet on the Broncos. I'm looking to bet on the Broncos, whether it's here in week 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
When a team's looking that bad, and it's it is a buy low spot. eventually I'm going to be looking at the Broncos. It's just a matter of whether it's here. Right now, it's not the most strongest play that I see this afternoon.
Right. I'll tell you one thing the Broncos did that made sense today. I believe that Hackett is not going to be calling the plays today. I believe he's not calling the plays, and that was a big thing. And I heard a lot of people talk about it. Actually, I heard Brett Musburger talking about it a couple of weeks before the season started, how it's tough for a young coach to also be calling plays. It's something that a lot of coaches don't realize, and they realize it quick. So that could be a difference today because he's not calling plays from what I was reading. I'm not sure if that's 100%. But I hear what you're saying about the Broncos. I expected more out of them. Yeah. Judy being out is a big thing. That's big. That's not an easy loss having Judy out today. But interesting game. I know DJ likes the 49ers, and it's not a greatest spot for the 49ers
Kittle's
either.
Back.
I do. I don't feel strongly, and I don't hate that either, boss. But one spot that I do like in this is I heard you guys talking about money line parlays and teasers and stuff a little bit earlier, and so I'm not the biggest parlay guy. I'm not the biggest teaser guy in any other spot, but I tease NFL. It's been preached elsewhere by long, but the Stanford Wong teaser, taking 1.5 or 2.6 point teasers in the NFL, laying -120 or less, that could be profitable. So I look for those spots that are 1.5 dogs, take them up to 7.5. Or bring those teams that are at 7, 6, 7.5 down to a pick 'em or -1. And the Broncos fit that mold, so I like them on a teaser plus 7.5. I'm pretty comfortable with that. I could see. I also like the Falcons on that side. I would do that with Dallas. So those spots where you can go through 3 and 7. That's what they say.
No, I got you.
Mathematically, if you lay less than 120, mathematically, you could find a good value hitting those spots.
Yeah, of course.
This game fits into that.
A couple games fit into that. I know there's a lot of different rules and regulations when it comes to teases. I know some people will not tease like any college football games, for instance.
Sure, and I won't either. I'll never tease basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's really it's
really just
crazy.
NFL. The NFL stays truer to the number.
Yeah, without a doubt. Interesting that you mentioned the Falcons game because I like the Falcons today. I took their team total over 20.5, and I took the Falcons today. Actually, that was my parlay. I was telling DJ I threw it in with the 49ers. Cool. Tonight. See if I get this first leg of it. But I like Atlanta today. They're 2-0 against the spread. They that comeback last week until Mariota threw that interception with a minute. I just talked about it with a minute left is unbelievable. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And I like the Falcons today. I think one thing I was going to mention. You mentioned about teams coming east to west. Falcons stayed out west last week. They didn't travel back home. So that's big. They didn't go back to Atlanta and then come back to Seattle. And I thought that was that could make a difference because, like you mentioned about teams, we know about the teams going east and west. We know all about all that. Sure. So I think that's big when teams do that. Yeah, I like that. So I'm glad we're on that together. That's good.
Yep,
that's for sure.
Yeah, that's one of I bet it. Personally, and it's also one of my picks. Contest picks. So,
good.
Yeah, I think Geno Smith. He had 0 TDs last week. He also had 0 interceptions. So right. he's just not really a factor there. He's not really messing up, but he's not really contributing too much. It's kind of like it's definitely a bum fight, and who could game manage a little bit better. And I'm hoping it's Mariota here, but. It's a nice day in Seattle. Weather's a non-issue, but one of the biggest things for me in this game was Seattle. They only had 36 yards on 14 carries.
Yes.
So they're just really struggling. Rashard Penny, obviously, I'm always rooting for him. He's a former Aztec. He came on strong there at the end of last season, looked to be promising, was getting drafted pretty high fantasy standards going in here preseason, and kind of hasn't really showed up, had a just absolute game last week. So will they be looking to establish the run? Yeah, and I think this is a good under as well. I like this under. That's on both there, Atlanta and the under is what I'll be betting in this game.
I mean, Seattle's average points per game this season of the 2 games, 12 points. Atlanta 26, and their defense giving up 21. And Atlanta's giving up some points too, but we'll see what happens. That's an interesting game. And I'm glad the Niners game is tonight. That's perfect for my TV setup for the day.
I know on Tuesday, Jimmy has a Tuesday show or whatnot. He'd put out that it was 90% of the money on Atlanta at that time. So I like to look at that. If you have something that lopsided early in the week, to me, that's clearly sharp. And
dog the favorite is always good. Always good.
It is. Yeah. And then, I don't know. I just think they get it done. So hopefully that's a good spot because got a little bit riding on this game for sure.
I got you. That's good.
I also tailed Jimmy on he played this with the Seattle team total under 21.5.
Oh, well, that makes sense according to what's been going on so far. But hopefully there's no turnovers that'll screw that up. I need Miami to get another field goal. Jesus. We had Miami's team total over 24. They kind of scored 14 points and spuddled out early in the game. And I know Tua was taken out and brought back in. He's another guy you can't trust to last a full year. But there you go. What Top Set is in the house. Teece, how you doing? Big Ragoo.
What's up to the chat?
How you doing? Ilio, what do you want today, Ilio? Let us know. So DJ, what do you think about that Falcon game? Have you made it? We were talking about that before. Did Paco change your mind at all about that game?
Still not that. I'm still not taking the chance. I think I'm gonna hold my unit and try to find a live spot to parlay to the Niners again, or I'm gonna just hold my unit for the Niner game. I like the under in the Niner game too. Great defense. After hearing Pargo though, I'm going a little backwards on the Niners too. I do forget that a lot of times when these guys come off the bench, they play great, but the moment the team has time to prepare for them, you get a different product. So Garoppolo could go back to being the old Garoppolo, but if he's fired up from sitting on that bench and he got a motive, maybe he puts it together today. He gets Kittle's back. That's one of his favorite targets. But 49ers
he has a good record against the spread. He has a very good record against the spread, Garoppolo. Matter of fact, I didn't write it down, but I read it before. He has a pretty good record against the spread. So that interesting game, though. Listen, Denver needs this game bad, too. If you think about it, Denver really needs this game to change the whole perception of what's going on. 100%. So Bengals going for a field goal. This game was iced anyhow. Same old Jets. They just shot themselves in the foot today. Bad penalty. They played hard. Their defense was playing good. They had a chance with Cincinnati. They had them on the ropes a little bit, but bad penalties. Third down and like 8. They pass interference. Defensive holding, things like that. Flacco interception. Not Flacco's fault though at all. So I'm not sure what's going to change much with Wilson back there, but we will see. I'm not a fan of that. New England pulls out the game. They win the game. And now a minute 13 left. Raiders down by 2 points only against the Titans. Wow, 22-24. I don't know if you guys see that.
You mean the Ravens won? You almost had me scared right there.
No, Raiders. I'm sorry. No, Raiders. Yeah, no. Ravens are good. They didn't blow it in the fourth quarter. We have anybody else backstage, DJ?
No, nobody else right now.
Didn't make it back in. Josh, jump on, come on. Oh, you're having difficulties. Okay, bro. It says he's having technical difficulties from up north. I was trying to get Josh 0.0 in today, Paco. I also tried to get Ricky March in, Comic Rick, but he couldn't make it. Our boy Anthony, the mayor, was at the Eagles game, and he was trying to come in from the Eagles game, but we had a feeling that shit wasn't going to work. Big Ragoo should be in soon, and I figured you haven't seen everybody in a while. Trying to get some old low baggers in, But we're glad you came in. We're glad you had some time to hang out with us. It's been a little bit of a while, but you know how we are, man. Everybody, life happens, but doesn't matter if you're here every day or if you're in and out. You know how that goes, especially you. We were out in Las Vegas. I think I mentioned it to you about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, almost now, beginning of August. So I got to see DJ and Big Ragoo out there, and it was fun. Me and Teece were out there, and it was good. It was a good time. Something else, hopefully they got this. They keep on talking about this Atlantic City trip over at Pub. So hopefully that comes to Atlantic City, and a lot of we'll get to meet a lot of guys that all the new faces that we haven't met. But yeah, it's been good. Everything's been going good with us over here at Hoop Bangin. We've been trying to ramp it up a little bit. We're doing a bunch of shows. I've been hitting the baseball. Teece, smashed WNBA all year. And so things, Boston the Sauce, like you mentioned. So it's been going good. Keep at it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is the one game that I was. Oh yeah, that's what it was. So you mentioned before tomorrow night is the Cowboys and the Giants. I thought I heard you mention something about Dallas before. Did I?
Yeah, I got a few thoughts on the Dallas game. So it's kind of, they're an ugly duckling. The public doesn't want to get on them without their star QB Dak, but they looked pretty good last week, and so we see this line immediately open up at Dallas +3. It got bumped down to 2.5 right away. The total from 39.5 to 38.5. So there's not really too much faith in the offenses here.
And the Giants, are they for real? Oh, the Giants
that's the thing is, I like Dable. I like their coach, and I like the culture that he's got going right now. I would say coaching assessment, the Giants clearly have the edge over McCarthy, in my opinion there.
Oh, yeah. Without doubt.
At home, prime time. But there's just a few things on Dallas that, this is another thing. I would use Dallas in a teaser. So if it's at 2.5, bring that up to an 8. To me, that's a no-brainer.
That's a good point.
I could see New York winning this game. If they do, it's going to be by, a field goal.
Something late.
It just being tight. Yeah, with a low total here, you get even more value out of those. If you bring it.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of expected value there. So one thing is Micah Parsons for Dallas is, he's tied for leading the league in sacks right now. He's got 4 sacks.
Right.
Let's see. I had this written down. So he has 17 sacks in 18 regular games going back to last season. He's a freaking beast right now. So, and he was listed as questionable because of flu-like symptoms, tested negative, no COVID stuff or whatever, but he's got flu-like symptoms. He tweeted out a GIF of the Michael Jordan flu game. So kind of, just indicating, having some fun there on social media, indicating that he's going to play. And, how does that get disrupted? We saw Saquon Barkley a little bit limited. I think the Dallas defense is keeping them afloat here. They're getting okay play from a backup QB, and we see it with the low total here. So I just think it's going to be a bum fight and defensive struggle. If this got bet up closer to 40.5, I'd be on the under in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said about the Giants, we don't know if they're for real. Yeah, the coaching has made a big difference, but I have a feeling, and because I'm here in New York, I hear you hear a lot more things with the local teams. I have a feeling that I never thought Jones was the quarterback anyhow, and I have a feeling this Giant team's going to look a lot different next year. The Giants were like, I don't know who the worst one was. They were listed as the second worst salary cap team who had problems with the salary cap this year. They couldn't do nothing. He couldn't do anything. He had to come in into this, take this year, steady the ship, make the internal changes that need to be. He acts like a guy who's been coaching for a long time. I mean, he has been, but as a head coach, he's he's doing a good job. The players are buying in, obviously, but Jones will revert back to the old Jones. the turnover machine. And, I don't think he's the answer, but I do think that the Giants are a team that's on the uprise, like they like to say, trending up, going into next year as in the future. But listen, if they beat Dallas tomorrow, the 2-0 Giants playing on Monday Night Football at home against their rivals, the Cowboys, you probably wouldn't have scripted that at the beginning of the year. So that for that reason, it's interesting. And it's big talk in New York. It's a big game. Stadium should be full. So, DJ, you have anything on that game tomorrow?
Well, I like the under in that one because I still think how Dallas is going to score. They got the defense. Same thing with the Giants. Their main thing is the running attack with Barkley. So looks like a homemade under to me. But I'm always willing to fade the Cowboys. The Cowboys. The Giants. They were Achilles' heel to a lot of teams in the past, even when they were playing 2 and 3 games out of 10 and all that kind of stuff. With the Giants, they'll do the trick sometimes. So I kind of lean Giants, and I also lean the under. It's a nice shirt.
You like that shirt, Paco?
Yeah, I do. I got to give me one.
That motherfucker again. No, you don't have to. You don't have to convince me to do some shameless advertising. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying with this game tomorrow night. And from what I'm here, we have a big storm coming through. It's getting darker and darker out here as we speak. The Philadelphia Philly game, Paco, was delayed in the 7th inning. The Baltimore Oriole game was delayed in the 7th inning today. So that storm is coming up the East Coast. So I don't know if it's going to be lingering into tomorrow, but weather could play an issue too. Almost making me think, I'm going to check the weather while we're talking. It almost makes me think if you're thinking about taking this under, maybe you should take it now, because even when weather don't make a difference, people tend to make it a bigger difference, and you get, and sometimes the weather makes a damn game go over that shouldn't. It doesn't always work the other way. But I'm thinking if the number will drop down if there's any bad weather. So, you might be able to get, it might go down to 37 or something like that. Was it 38.5 now? So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's I would think even if it stays the same, you know what I mean? Right. If you see it at a line freeze, I don't have a subscription to Sports Insights or not. I kind of rely on Jimmy and Pub Sports and you guys and whatever. When whoever's talking about the money coming in and whether it's sharp and ticket counts or whatnot, right. I quickly realize every show doesn't have good data on that or whatnot, but Jimmy's is sharp for sure, what he touches on. And if you see that, the public is betting, if I know that the public's betting an over in this spot, but there's a line freeze or even a tick down, I'll be on the under for sure, even more.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That Sports Insights, it's a lot of people don't have it because it's not cheap, but of course you could split up a subscription, but it's something like $1,200-$1,300. Somebody like you mentioned Jimmy, he's doing this professionally, does it for a living. You gotta be, you gotta have something like that. But I'll find some of you, but I use VSiN a lot, and they break down the money pretty good. So I'll see if I can pull up something for tomorrow night's game. But I hear you. There's a theory that if the line freezes and the money's free, everything stays the same pretty much throughout the week, that you always go with the favorite. That's just been an old tale that I always would hear. The wives' tales of sports betting.
Yeah, and echoing off what Boss said too with his lean on the under is primetime unders. They've been good.
They've been good.
That's for sure.
And speaking about line movement, and I talked about this a bunch of times, and it worked for me last year, and it worked for me this year, and put me on the Seattle in that first game, actually, and then it put me on that over in the Chargers game on that Thursday night, was those last ticks and those line movements and those primetime games. They seem to be doing good. They really seem to be telling the tale of what's going on. Seattle went down that last hour and a half from 7 to 6. That's a surprising jump to see. And same thing happened with it was the under in that Thursday night game. They dropped from 54 to like 52, but still the under cashed. It's just sometimes those late line movements mean just as much as I know we used to always be looking at those first early line movements. And I just think things are changing so much. I think that whole thing about ticket splits and who's sharps and who's not sharps, I honestly believe it's changing because of the influx of so many people coming into the business. And the information has never been the way it's been before. Like in Twitter, sports gambling in Twitter since 2019 went up 300%. That's big. So I think that shit's changing, man. Some of the old things that we guys like us that have been doing this every day for a long time, I think it's starting to change. And, you always got to adapt, right? You can't be, you always got to adapt. And that's some kind of stuff that I've been, getting into talking about, and definitely want to do some kind of shows about that kind of stuff because I think it's important and it's interesting. And there's a lot of new guys coming up. I got 3 DMs last week of guys that names I never heard of that started watching us, from wherever, asking me like, how do you guys get started? Like, what do you, things like that. So and I've been telling them first to start following us and things like that. But a lot of new guys want some information. So, it's definitely out there to give. But I think things are changing as far as, line movements and, who the real sharps are and that kind of thing,
Definitely.
So it's not only the guys that bet big money, that's for sure. That's funny. Dabby Cab, he was supposed to come in today, but these are the things that happen when you do live shows and stuff. He has a 2-year-old. You need not say anymore. He's trying to get his 2-year-old to bed for a nap, and like he said, he don't know how his wife does it. Yeah, I hear you, man. I remember those days. So, top set. Boss doesn't like that game, Elio, the Seattle Falcons game. Me and Paco like the Falcons. Boss doesn't particularly like that game. He likes the 49ers. He likes the Chargers, right? But that's about it. So I guess everybody had technical difficulty today, DJ, or they don't like us, either or. But what can you? You know what I say? What did I say all the time when we were in Vegas together? Fuck them.
No, it's tough. It's tough on Sundays because everybody has their traditions of what they do on Sunday and stuff like that. So
that's right.
And
Papa, we picked this Sunday for this time for that reason, because there's a million other shows on and a million other times, and like you mentioned, Jimmy, we weren't going on against his show in the morning, so and no one ever did it, and no one does it. So we said, what the hell, we might as well do it. So we have fun doing it. We like doing it, and if you have some Sundays off, and all you gotta do is send me a DM, tell me you're off. You can always jump on, even if it's for 10 minutes or so. Like last week, we had 5-6 guys jump on, so we were juggling. But then some days like today, we have plenty of time. So, you're always welcome, to come on with us and talk football, talk whatever. You know that.
Cool. Thank you.
You have any baseball theories about the playoffs? I've been hot all year long for the first time in a long time. I've had some good second halves, but some horrendous first halves. So they were really like bailout. But this year, thankfully, I had a good year all around, and I'm looking forward to the playoffs. How did you do this year with baseball?
I've been doing all right. I'm kind of tapering off a little bit. It's normal for me. And every time football starts up, a little bit less action, and I kind of think that the season kind of winds down in that manner anyway. I think that it's a little bit harder to pick off MLB, value as we get closer to the playoffs and during the playoffs, the World Series. It's just there's the best teams, best matchups. So.
It caps itself almost, right? Me and Nolan talk about that a lot.
It's just not. It's not the same right now as it was midsummer, and it was different in the spring. You know what I mean? So I'm still having fun with it. More so on the fan side. I'm rooting my Padres in, obviously in a tight race against the Brewers here and the Phillies. It's been a good time though, and I'm still definitely tuning into the baseball markets, man. I'm looking for those first 5 spots and leaning under, and just kind of looking who's in it, who's not, and what incentives there, and what guys are doing. But you know, just like Boss, I get pretty heavily invested into the NCAA slate.
Yeah, you do.
Saturdays.
Yes.
So just kind of gearing up and getting ready for the week. It definitely takes the majority of my time to
No, it's hard to do
it and not get killed.
Oh yeah,
and be semi-sharp in NFL or whatnot.
Yeah, especially working also, without a doubt. That's hard. It's not easy, man. And this time of year gets tough. And I really had to put college football in the back burner. Just like if I wasn't having a good year, as good in MLB, I probably wouldn't have. But I couldn't take the time away. You know how it is. If you're doing something good in one thing, you got to be crazy to back away from it. So I've just been keeping. And it's just something I love. I love Major League Baseball more than anything. So
we got like you mentioned too, is freaking.
But football definitely it definitely adds to it. And who doesn't love NFL? What was that, DJ?
We got another guest in the lobby. Paco, you gonna jump out or you want to stay in?
I'll chill for a minute and say what's up.
All right, let's bring in one of our guys. We all know who this guy is. Classy guy, a favorite of everybody's. Say hello to Big Ragoo.
Hey, man, I'm sorry I'm late, guys. I took a fucking nap. My back was going so good, I had to go to sleep.
You look fresh as a daisy.
Yeah, I bet.
So how about
what's up, my friend?
There you go. How about you get to come on?
What's going on, Doc?
How you doing? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah, I heard all the banter. I was listening, obviously. But yeah, it's good to see you, and always be looking for that sharp money, like you say. The sharp plays, the sharp angles. And how do you and the Dom's point, the guy says, how you get started? Get your pocketbook ready. It's going to cost you a lot of money to get started. Your bookie will appreciate that.
Yep.
But no, it's all good, man. Just
we couldn't get that Dolphin team total, Doc.
It's all entertainment value. Like you said, some guys do it for a living, some guys do it for pleasure. Whichever poison you pick, just you always got to be on top, because in our industry today, it changes so fast, man. There's so much information out there that moves quickly. Just find something that works for you and go with it.
Without a doubt, there's more ways to skin a cat. That's for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We talk about that all the time. Doc, we couldn't get the damn Dolphins to give us 3 more points to at least push that damn game. So I split my early games. I had the Bengals.
2 went down. That hurt a little bit. Obviously.
Yeah. And I hit the Bengals first half in full game, but then I lost on the team total with the Dolphins and the team total with those damn Redskins.
Yeah, you know who I'm not betting no more? New England. I think until they get a fucking real offensive coordinator and figure how to run offense, I'm going to be off of it. I'm going to be fading New England pretty soon.
Yep. So, Doc, would you on the late game? We were talking about these late games. We were on a little bit on a different side with tonight's game, the 49ers game. What are your thoughts on that game?
On the 40, I like. You know what? I mean, if you got a backup coming in, I mean, you talk about a Super Bowl guy, a guy that knows how to win, gets Kittle back, which is going to help him. I like the. I know it sounds like a trap. Like, I agree with Paco, but I got to like Jimmy G in that spot. Russell. Yeah. I still think they're going to struggle offensively. I think San Francisco is probably going to do a better job taking care of the football. Defensively wise, I got to. I know there's still a lot of pieces there from when. Vince was there, and then and I think San Fran's got enough pieces. So I lean towards the under in that game, actually. I like an under look there. But if you had to pick a side, I'd probably lean with San Francisco. Yeah,
it's a tough game, and like I was saying to Paco, I'm not, I like the Niners, but it's nothing like strong, because this game could go either way. It's going to be a real telltale game. And if you look at just the angle of who needs the game more, sure as hell is the Broncos. That's for sure. The one game we really didn't talk about, but DJ kind of was talking about it at the beginning, was the Rams and the Cardinals. That's the game we didn't touch on, Paco. Stratford, the turnover machine, but has played well, has beat the Cardinals actually last year in the playoffs, has played well, but and they should be the better team. But Kyler Murray seems, I don't know about Kyler Murray. He's just so up and down. And like DJ was saying, when he's running around improvising is when he's at his best.
Yeah.
It's a strange game. This could be one of those games where a lot of people are, like the Rams. They opened up at -3.5. I don't know. I don't have the current line in front of me right now.
Yeah, I think it ticked up and ticked back down.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
What do you think, Paco?
Yeah, I think that it was. I think if I'm not mistaken, the early line movement came in on Arizona. I'm not sure about that.
I'm gonna look while you're talking.
Yeah, we know Stafford's got. I think they've got 6 turnovers, and he accounted for 5 of them. So
yeah, he had 2 picks last week, and the Rams they have high penalties right now. They just don't look crisp. They don't look in sync. My first lean was in Arizona here. If you're going to give me the hook, if I can get a 3.5, 3.5 or above.
I took the Rams. I gave it on Jimmy's show earlier. I just think that this is let's call it a get right spot. But they had 2 games now under their belt, which they didn't look, like you said, they're definitely not looking sharp.
Sure.
But I got to give the nod to LA here, because
I got to say, if you're going to go on the road, it's an easy travel spot for them.
Yeah.
I don't really view Arizona as having the biggest home kind of field advantage to begin with, and then with a short trip from LA to Arizona, that didn't really beating them up on that side too much. But I didn't bet the game. I didn't bet the game, but if I can get above a field goal with Arizona, I'd be taking the home team.
Yeah. I mean,
let me bring in another guest real quick, since we're getting towards the end of the show. Let me get everybody in here. We got our guy. You guys know this guy from Pub Sports, the Daily Sesh, a whole bunch of shows out there. This guy's been coming around. Love this guy right here. Met him in San Antonio. Had some good times, some great talks. Shout out to our guy, Dabby Dab in the house.
What's up?
Hey,
guys?
Dabby, he made it. You put the kid to bed?
Yeah, she's actually really close to me. So if you hear any crying and I pop up, it's she's right over there. But
hey, Dabby, that might as well have been me, man, because I just got up for a nap and I was crying a little while ago.
That's funny. It sounds like me when I wake up from naps. If you can't see, I got a little extra. My 5-year-old wanted to decorate my wall, so I got a little extra decorations behind me today.
They did a good job, man. Shout out to the kids, to the kids in Texas. Good. We were talking about this game, the Rams Arizona game. I mentioned, man, look at these defensive numbers. The last 2 weeks, Rams averaged 29 points a game is their average in those 2 games. The defense lets up, and 33 points for Arizona. I mean, just horrendous defensive. But you have any thoughts on this game? Or let us know what you like in the late games.
Wasn't there? And I don't want to say this and be wrong, but wasn't there a pretty big reverse line movement on this Rams game?
I don't know if I think there was. I don't know about this game. I seen it open at. I mean, let me see what it opened up at, and we'll tell you.
I'll tell you the Rams.
It opened up at 3.5 minus. It opened up at -3.5 minus 115. That was the opening line I seen.
Well, I could tell you guys one thing I was looking at right before I popped in here was maybe taking the Chargers live if I could get the right line on them. Herbert's in. He's playing. I mean, obviously one shot to the ribs.
You got that confirmed?
He's in. Yeah, they've started. Okay. It's 0-0 right now. Jaguars have the ball. 2nd and 15. And right before I popped in, there was a -2.5. Actually still here. I see it. -2.5 on the first half on the Chargers. I'm pretty intrigued by that, but I don't know. I figured I'd get in and talk with you guys.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad look at all. I didn't even realize that what the time wasn't that's what the point of the game was at. I think the reverse line movement that they were talking about this morning was the 49ers, because wasn't that I had that written down too, but it wasn't.
So one thing I'd say about that with the Broncos, and I guess you guys can help it. And I'll say this, I bet the NFL, but I'm kind of like you with NCAA football. NCAA football and basketball and baseball are my favorite, but I do bet NFL. The Broncos have the 7th. They're only out of the couple games. They've got the 7th they're seventh best team in the league total yards wise on offense, and 24th scoring because they keep getting stopped at the 1 yard line. I mean, it's not like this team's not moving the ball; they're just not scoring. Which, you can't win if you don't score.
Did you bet any late games? You got any late games?
I have not. The only thing that I played so far today was I had the Ravens first half. I got lucky because it was just minus 1 point, so I cashed that by literally the hook. But that's the only thing I've bet today so far. I was looking at that late game. I'm kind of leaning on the 49ers, and I liked hearing Big Boss talk about the 49ers. It's just something worries me about this Denver team. I just feel like they should be putting up a whole lot more points than they are, and I feel like they could break out at any point, and that's the one thing
you're not alone. Paco feels the same way. I don't know if you ever met Paco Healy, but that's our boy Paco Healy right there. And
Paco, nice to meet you, man. I've seen you in the chat.
We'll meet up soon, man. One of these days for sure. Toasting and getting after it for sure.
Hell yeah, man. I can't wait. That sounds great.
So listen, the reverse line movement was on the 49ers. They opened up plus 1.5. The money splits was 45% of the money of the tickets, 52% of the money was on the Broncos. Meanwhile, the 49ers went from plus to minus, which to me, I just love seeing that. And to me, that was the game with the reverse line movement was the 49ers.
Yeah, I was
another
just
game
trying to echo
the Falcons.
I was just trying to echo a little bit of that sentiment. What Dabby brought up is just kind of this team's left a lot on the table, man. And when is that going to regress to the mean? It's like everybody talks about in baseball when you see a pitcher pitching over his mind or an ace, kind of that's been underwhelming. And when that correction is going to come in, I feel like that's the Denver should be a buy-on team and kind of on our radars here these next few weeks. Whether it's today or not, we'll see.
We'll see. It's a tough matchup. It's a great Sunday night game. Perfect game to watch. Sit in. No other game on. That's a good game to watch.
Some people probably wonder why I play first half a lot. Lots of times there's a good angle for it. Other times it's just because I cash more on the first half than I do full game. So why would I not go with what my numbers say?
Right. But I bet a lot of first halves. It's just like first five in baseball, right? I mean, it's whatever you find, whatever you find your captain leads you to.
What I was going to say is, if I was going to play the Broncos in this game, where the line's at, I would probably take the points in the first half. Just because, because at the end of the game at a 1.5, it's not very likely that they're going to lose by 1 point. It happens, right? It happens. Very good, but it's not very likely. But if you take the points in the first half, then it very likely could be a tie, and you'd still get out with the win. So that's why I would go first half if I was playing the Broncos.
Right. I went on the money line with San Francisco basically for that reason. I just went with the money line, but it was only minus. Was it 123? I think it was. So it was worth it.
So, and I got to say, I don't like the Broncos enough that I took the 1.5. I got it teased. I teased the Packers +1 up to +7 with the Broncos up to 7.5.
That's a good bet.
I like that.
I can see that. Yeah, listen, we could definitely see that Bronco game being a last-minute type of game. Either way, that's for sure. The game I got on now is the Packers and the Bucs. So,
Ragoo, I just saw what you asked LJ in the chat. That made me laugh.
He's got that prop, I think, right?
Yeah.
And we used to have another capper that used to do those field goal props all the time too. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah, I used to do them a lot. I used to do that over 3.5 field goals a lot with in certain games, and they seem to or over 1.5 with the team because they hit those. A lot of times you'll get a team over 1.5 field goals, and a team like the Bucs, for instance, they kick field goals every game. Every game they're kicking a bunch of field goals, and I don't know what their prop was, but they already got one field goal down today, 3-0.
That is always good for the NFC South with those teams, the Bucs, the Saints, Falcons. Every time those three teams play, there's a lot of field goals, especially the Saints.
I know Paco's teaser, but did any of you guys bet that Big Boss? Did you actually pull the trigger on the? You said money line, Dom, for you on the 49ers. Did you pull the trigger, Big Boss or Ragoo, on the late game?
Yeah, I got everything parlayed. I got 2 parlays going into the 49ers. So with the Indian, one still got to go through the Chargers.
And I'm on the team total Rams first half 13 and a half. I don't know what Jimmy got me, but I got it 13 early.
My parlay was the Falcons and the 49ers plus 225.
49ers.
Yep, okay, that was mine. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I kind of like the Falcons too much today. But
we got 3 teams in the red zone right now. The Packers are in the red zone. They're down 3-0. We got the Falcons in the red zone. They're down 3-0. And we also got the Jaguars in the red zone. It's 0-0 game over there.
I also got the Falcons team total over 20.5. Cab. That was my other bet.
I don't know when, but I'm really, even with Jacksonville here, I kind of want Jacksonville to score since I still haven't pulled the trigger yet because I really want to take the Chargers live.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, Paco was talking about that about early scoring. He would like to jump on that under you were saying, right, Paco, in that game if you get some early scoring. And I agree with that theory. And I also agree with that theory with the Chargers. I mean, talk about line movement and just in general was this Charger game. I mean, I know Herbert, at the middle of the week, you hear bruised ribs, you figured he ain't going to be playing. Or that was what it was, right? Bruised ribs.
Torn rib cartilage.
Down. And Packers are up 7-3. Wow.
Yeah, Brady's got they got a lot of problems in Tampa for this game, man. And Brady's fingers is messed up too. So I don't know if you guys knew a lot of information going around about they kept it on the wraps, no pun intended. Brady's finger. But
there's some injuries out there. I don't know if you guys caught that. Friggin' Aaron Rodgers talking about being on Percocet, Joe Rogan's podcast. Joe Rogan interviewed him. He talked about playing games on Percocet and doing ayahuasca out in the rainforest.
Well, I heard about the ayahuasca bullshit. Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying, Herbert, he's medicated today. He got some IV morphine minimum from the team
all
staff.
These players know how to play. Listen, that's part of playing, man. That's part of being a pro. You gotta know how to handle your drugs to get yourself to play.
You get a halftime dose.
The needle.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you get a halftime dose.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
My dad,
game, man. They play through pain all the time, those guys, man. We don't hear all that nonsense, but it's true.
Yep. What was that, Cap?
My pops, I always bring it up. I point to the picture. He played back in the 80s at A&M, and, man, he's got just some crazy stories because they were not shy with the needle in the 80s. So, he played on like things that you wouldn't think are possible, like a partially broken ankle one time. Like, how do you even do that? You know what I mean? Like, just crazy stories, shit like that. Maybe that wasn't exactly it, but I'll ask him sometime.
No, I understand what you're saying, though. It definitely was a whole different breed of plays and a whole different way of going about things. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's
he said it was always about the fourth quarter or 40 minutes after the game or so when all the pain and the drugs would wear off and all the pain would set in. And he said it just sucked.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah. We all know about the famous Super Bowl with Emmitt Smith with the shoulder that he should have never even been playing in the game. But what was it? Novocaine back then? They shot him up?
Novocaine. Yeah, that's what it is. The Novocaine shot.
He had that halftime shot too. By the end of that game, that shoulder was just hanging over there like that.
I'm sure Paco can tell you about the shots, right, Paco?
Yeah.
He's in the medical community.
Listen, Novocaine, you know how it feels when they give it to you in your mouth for at the dentist? Could you imagine getting a shot with your whole body? You could run through a wall. You'll feel like you just bounce off it, So I could just imagine a dose like that. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
IV too, there's a difference between a med that's getting shot into your forearm or your arm rather than intravenous.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, I hear you. That's a whole different ball. I'm sure your father. You should get your father on one time telling stories about I'm sure he has millions of them. That's
man. Yeah, you know,
pretty cool.
The whole hurdle with him is getting him on screen, because I swear if he ever got on here and started talking with any of you guys, he'd come on all the time. But he'll never make a social media or any of that. I promise. Like there's a 0% chance that he'll do that.
No, I hear you. I hear you. A lot of people are surprised that I did it, so I can imagine. I'm sure we're probably about the same
texting
age.
sometimes still. Like, I mean, yeah. So,
Yeah.
and he's not even like old enough for that to be an excuse. It's just he's very stubborn when it comes to shit like that.
No, I hear you. All right, man. I'll tell you, I gotta get going myself. I got something I gotta take care of at 5:00. But Doc, you want any of these late games? What bet you have in, Doc?
I have the Rams. That's it. I got the Rams team total over first half 13, and I got the Rams full game. So I'm all in on the Rams this afternoon.
Okay, cool.
I need them to salvage my day.
Right. I got you. I split my early game, so we'll see what happens. I have the Falcons and the Niners. Paco, what games do you have this afternoon?
Cool. So straight up, I'm on Atlanta plus the 1 minus 110. I'm also on Seattle's team total under 21.5. And then I got that teaser going with I teased Green Bay up to 7, and I teased the Broncos up to 7.5.
Okay, that's great.
It did pretty good in the morning, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
There you go. Good job.
Yep.
Good job, man. It was good it was really good seeing you. We were happy to have you on. And like I said, I know you don't always have free time, but just drop me a DM whenever you're free, man. You're always welcome to pop on, even if it's for 10 minutes or so. You know, we always love having you. We appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, glad to be here for sure. So yeah, you guys know 1 or sometimes 2 of my Sundays are just off the block right away because of work. And then, but when I'm off and I'm chilling. So
great.
Had a couple beers and had a good time on screen with you guys. So
all right, man. Thanks for coming on, man. Keep in touch. It was good seeing you.
Absolutely. It's good to see you guys too. I'll do this again with you guys soon. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good day, man.
Later, fellas.
All right. DJ, what games are you on? What you got? So you got you hit the Ravens, so that's parlayed with the Niners, and you hit what else? What was the other game?
I hit the Ravens earlier, and also hit the Bengals.
Oh, the Bengals.
Everybody.
So those are your 2 separate parlays going into tonight. So here's my question for you: will you throw a hedge in on the opposite side on the Denver Broncos?
Absolutely. When the game comes up, I'm probably gonna have. I'm trying to get 3 parlays going into that 49er game. I'm gonna catch something live with the total or something. I'm gonna parlay it over into the 49er game. I think that we didn't get too much theatrics in the fourth quarter, other than the Dolphins game and the Minnesota game earlier. So I think one of these 4 right here gonna get some theatrics. Maybe it's gonna be that Cardinal game, because the Rams been known for giving it up late, and the Cardinals are known for always pushing on the gas. So I might look for them to go down by 10 or something, and hop on them and parlay that over to the Niners as well.
I hear you.
I like that. How are you with these parlays? Is it just like 2 teams that you're going into this one, and then you'll like you said, if you have 2
separate parlays,
you'll hedge?
Well, yeah, they're all separate. I started with the early games. I have 1 teaser with an early game, and then a late game, and then it all goes into the Niners at the end. And then I had another one that was just 2 teams in the early games parlayed into the Niners as well. Now I got 1 unit left to play for the day, and I want to get some more money going over into the Niners. And then if it's a nice big sack of money sitting over there on the Niners, all money line, then I'm going to hedge that out. I'm going to wait to hedge it out live and see if I could get a big plus money taking Denver somewhere in there. And then I'm just going to have Sunday dinner and have a good time. Win-win.
Yeah, that works.
Hell yeah.
Do you bet any open parlays, or they're all closed basically?
They're all closed. One started with a teaser.
They're closed. But I'm saying you have the opportunity to bet open parlays.
Yeah, Bookmaker allows open parlays, but it's crazy. I probably did about 6 open parlays and I hit 1, and I don't know, maybe the thought process is better when you just do it and close it from the beginning.
Yeah.
According to, when you leave it open, now you got all the anxiety and anticipation on the next play, opposed to being calculated and already put it in. It's kind of like the difference of putting your plays in early in the week or waiting to the last minute, so I don't know, but if I'll definitely entertain more open pars, maybe 2-teamers than 3-teamers, but right now I don't know. I'd rather just go ahead, either get the teaser or just put the money line par at the beginning.
A friend of mine is like, he'll tell you a million reasons why not to bet parlays, but he bets the if bets. Those are.
I don't even understand those.
The if bets is just if you bet the Jets this morning, and if they win, that money goes. You pick 2 teams, the Jets and the Rams. So you bet the Jets.
A parlay?
It is and it isn't, because you don't lose all your money.
Just let the winnings ride on to the next game.
It's like you bet $50 on the Jets, you win. So now the 100 goes on tonight's game. So,
but you don't lose your initial unit or whatever.
It is a parlay, I guess, but it isn't. It's kind of hard. Doc could probably explain it better than me.
Yeah, you just like doubling up. You just keep rolling your money over to the next team. That's all.
So,
basically.
I can tell you guys, I went ahead and, since I was talking about it, because I didn't want to, and I didn't just do it because I'm here, but I went ahead just now. I took the Chargers minus 2.5. Jacksonville just went up 6-0. They got an interception, had the ball on the 5-yard line. That's twice they've had the ball basically on the goal line and didn't score. So now I'm getting a 2.5 with the Chargers. It's a minus 117, and I just went ahead and took it for half a unit.
Jacksonville did that last week, man. Last week, Jacksonville had a couple a couple fumbles, a couple interceptions. Guys have mentioned about Jacksonville and what they've done over the. I don't like when people start bringing in stats over the last 4 or 5 years, like combined, like they've, in their lifetime they're this or that. To me, it doesn't matter. But we'll see, man. Maybe this Jacksonville team is for real. Boy, oh boy. At least they're not a doormat like they have been, right? So,
right.
That's good to see.
They got Peterson, so that helps. I like Peterson.
But that's a good look. That's a good look to go on the Chargers now. After going down. Paco was saying if he could go up maybe 2 scores early, he would jump on the under in that game because he feels like it would slow down. So, there you go. Boston Nick in the house just popped up. How you doing, Nick?
Shout out to Boston Nick.
Tell him to go do a shoey. It's gonna be a long night.
Hey, Nick. We got a request for Nick to come on the Boston the Sauce and do a shoey because somebody commented. Somebody commented which one was gonna do the shoey, me or Big Ragoo. I said, nah, not gonna happen. We'll have to get.
I saw somebody tapping you guys in style, and it made me so mad.
What happened?
Who was it? Somebody was calling their show something sauce, and I was like, "You don't get to do that, damn it! We already have Boston the Sauce."
Oh, you must. Would you read my text this morning in the chat? There's a guy on YouTube I noticed this morning. I text Doc and DJ this. There's a guy on YouTube I seen this morning. His name was The Sauce. So I don't say that's who you're talking about. No, I'm just telling you. It might be the same guy. It might be the same guy. But this morning I see a show on YouTube.
We already got a Boston sauce, guy. We don't need another sauce. We already got our Boston sauce.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It might be the same guy.
It has to be, unless there's just a bunch of people trying to copy Ragoo right now.
Yeah, I told him I was going to go in his chat and tell him and school him who the real source is. But
I saw another Razor Sharp Picks the other day too, and it wasn't Razor. I was like, "What the hell?" Straight up, just 100% copied. I was like, "Come on."
It happens.
It happens.
You'd be surprised how many people's names are around, man. It ain't only us. We're just a blip on the scale, man. We're a blip on the scale.
That's how you know when you're doing something right, man. That's all. You're doing something right when it comes.
They're paying homage, man. Paying homage.
There you go.
That's a good point.
Now they got to start paying residuals. That's all. All right, man. I'm gonna get myself out of here. Cab, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. I know you had a little time coming up, but we got 17 weeks doing this, so we'll get you back in. And it was good having you on today.
When you going back on, Deb?
Tell us when you go. Tell us your stuff.
Okay, tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do the Medicated Monday on the Daily Sesh, Dutch and I. So it's fun because we give out any. I don't always bet games early, but there are some games that I see and I'm like, hey, I need to get on this game now because the NCAA football line movement is crazy. So on Monday, we get to give out any early lines that we want to do. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow.
That's great. And then daily sesh every day, right? Still?
I think we're just going to be Monday and Friday this week. So medicated Monday and fried Friday is what we're going with.
Fried Friday. I got it. And then how about your live streams? You're doing them on every Friday night you're doing it and every Saturday? Is that what it is?
Yep. Every Friday night and Saturday night. And hopefully you guys, I know Ragoo was with me, but anytime I always want you guys, like it's a open invitation. So it's just as much you guys show as it is mine. I want you guys there anytime you can be there.
No, without a doubt. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'll have to get you on and do I'm thinking of trying to put together a little show about the we did it last year about playoffs, baseball playoffs right before the playoffs start. When we know who all the teams are, we'll do a little show. I'll get Noli, get you. We'll see who else can come on, and we'll do a little baseball show. We'll see how we can work it out. I got a few ideas.
I can't wait to stop
seeing
mention
it to Jose, a matter of fact.
400 with the teams that I want to bet. So I'm ready for the playoffs.
Maybe there's a way we could do it where we could just broadcast it because it's easy to do. Is if they say, if they let us, if we could broadcast it over on, we'll definitely do it on Who Bangin'. But if Pub wants to do it too, we could always broadcast it on both channels. We used to do that with the horses when we first started out. Me and Jimmy, we started out during COVID. We were just broadcasting on everyone's channel. Just let it go out the fuck out there. Who cares, But
you can do it multiple ones at once.
Yeah, we could go on multiple. Like, in other words, like today, I could put it out on your channel. I could put it out on your Twitter. There's X amount of destinations you could do. So, my point being is that I want you to come on. We'll do a playoff MLB playoff show. That's my point.
I always love joining you guys, man. Anytime you guys.
All right, Tabby. All right, man. Thanks for coming on, brother, man. Have a good rest of the afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow. Medicated Monday.
Thanks, guys. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Later, guy.
He's a good guy, man. One of the newer guys added to the list from I guess from last year or the year before.
Yeah, that'd be straight up.
I can't even keep track. But yeah, another good guy coming into the mix. And definitely a good guy. Got a couple little kids, and we know how that goes, right? So shout out to shout him out. He's a good kid, working hard. So all right, guys, let's get the hell out of here. We've just been doing our normal little talk. You know how we do. It's like the free for all show. Whatever happens. Nothing, we'll see. Yeah. We'd like to see how things go. Keep it light. Like DJ say, it's it's midday Sunday afternoon. So anybody out there ever wants to jump on, just drop us a DM. And, we always like having different people coming on and stuff. I'll probably do a light it up during the week. It's been hot lately. Had a good 6-0 show yesterday. Had a good week with it. I'll probably try to do one during the week. And then next Saturday in the afternoon, at noon, I'll be doing it. I'll try to get Noli on next week with me. It'll be good because we could start talking about the playoffs.
Yeah, when do the playoffs start, Dom?
Well, the last game of the season, the last Met game is October 5th. So within that 5th, 6th game, it's going. So I would assume maybe that weekend or the following Monday. I'm not 100%. Like the 7th, 8th, 9th, something like that.
It's pretty quick.
So there'll be some good games coming up when it comes to that. I was going over a little bit yesterday. The first 2 division winners, the highest division winners get the bye. So, for instance, the Dodgers and the Mets will get the bye. And then the 3rd division winner has to play the 3rd wild card team. So the 3rd division winner looks like if it was right now, it would be the Cardinals. And they would have to play the Brewers or the Padres. How many games they going in the wild card? Or the Phillies. Excuse me?
How many games they going in the wild card?
I think it's 3 or 5. Yeah. I think 3. I don't think it's 5. I think it's 3. I'm not 100% sure. I got to look all that up. But it could be some interesting series. And the Guardians, man, they're running away with that Central Division. It's just amazing how they just ran away with it. They just put the Twins and the White Sox in the rearview mirror. And that division, of course, Houston's going to be a winner. And the second wild card, It's slipping my mind now who that was. Oh, the Yankees. So Houston and the Yankees will probably get the bye, and then the Guardians will have to play somebody, like
Tampa.
That's going to be, that's going to be a good division. That'll be a good series.
And then Seattle,
Seattle or the like you said, the Blue Jays. So something like that. So that should be interesting. But there's still some baseball left. Like Paco was saying, and I always say, playoffs start, and nobody talks about it. They start, it caps itself in a way. It's only certain, it's situations, it's matchups. So we'll see what happens. Mets have been playing a little bit better. They can't get hot at the end of the year. I got tickets for the last night game, which is October 4th. It's a Wednesday night, I believe, and that's against the Nationals. And the Mets still have a series against the Braves. So that's still not, we need to win the division. We have to win the division, So that's, and the Braves. If the Braves are going to be a wild card, they're going to be a top wild card. So it's wild card number 1 against wild card number 2, and wild card number 3 plays that third division winner. That's how it works. Yeah. So
the most competitive game I would say would probably be the top wild cards.
Yeah. Braves against the Phillies or Braves against the Brewers. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be something. Yeah, that'll be something. So we'll see what happens. But you guys will be on Wednesday night again, of course. Boston the Sauce, right?
Every
You'll
Wednesday,
be doing your pubs on Saturday morning.
8:30 on the East, 5:30 on the West.
There you go, man. All right, cool. All right, DJ, what do you got to say, brother?
Nothing much, man. Catch us on the Boston the Sauce. Be looking out for Wham Talk, and definitely catch
that'll
us.
Be coming soon. That's right. NBA is starting pretty soon, isn't it?
Yeah, Wham's been going on doing previews on Wednesdays. So good. Got a couple previews out there, so be looking for Wham Talk on Wednesdays for some previews, and definitely tune in to the Boston the Sauce show, and come back and see us for the NFL show on Sunday.
Okay, man. Thanks, guys. Had a good time. I'll see you guys later.
No matter how you did on your early NFL bets, join us every Sunday at 3 p.m. on Before You Bet with DommyGunRici and DJ Bigboss, Who Bangin' Sports Talk.